Hi students, myself Amit sir. Today I will teach you class 9 civics chapter 3 and the name of the chapter is constitutional design. So just see the video, and after seeing the video all of you see the chapter, go through the chapter, and I hope the part that I will discuss today, if you go through the chapter after seeing the video, the idea will be clear. So stay with me. You see, already I have written the name of the chapter, constitutional design. In the constitutional design, we will discuss the importance of a written constitution, importance of a democratic constitution. So to get that idea of democratic constitution, we are going to take one example of a country where there was a system called apartheid in South Africa. So what was apartheid? You see, apartheid was a system of racial discrimination. Racial discrimination means discrimination on the basis of skin color. You know, South Africa was under the clutch of the European powers for a long time, and European white people, although their number was very less, they, because of their educational, because of their money power or financial power, they had captured South Africa, and for a long time they ruled South Africa also with this system of apartheid. So apartheid means the racial discrimination. Against the racial discrimination, one name you all know in a better way, that is Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was the freedom fighter of South Africa. Okay, he spent 28 years of his life in jail, in a dreaded prison, and the name of the jail was in Robben Island, one dreaded island of South Africa. Over there the jail was made, and in that jail he spent his 28 years. So what was his need of fighting? So he wanted to make South Africa one free country. So the racial discrimination, now we'll see who were the three races in South Africa. There were blacks. Black means the native South African people, who were the original people of South Africa. They were black in color. Okay, then we'll see white people. White means the Europeans. Europeans were the master of the black people. They pressurized the black people. They captured the black people, and they used this system of apartheid on them. And there were colored people. Colored means those who were not black, not white, and in these colored people mostly were Indian. Okay, and you see, apartheid system was particularly oppressive for the blacks. Different type of discriminations, different type of differences were there between the blacks and the whites because of the apartheid. There was a time when the white people, they totally made some the policies where the blacks were always discriminated. So now we'll see what type of discrimination was there in South Africa for the blacks. Now see, I have written over here ways of discrimination. Before going to the ways of discrimination, you see, I have given one picture also. See, one placard, one board has been fixed in some place of South Africa. What is written over there? Danger. For whom the danger is? You see, natives, Indians and colored. If you enter this premises at night, you will be listed as missing. Armed guards shoot on sight. Sage dogs devour the corpses. Okay, so what is the meaning of this? That if you go in a particular place in the night time without permission, so you will be shot down by the guards, and your body will be fed by the dogs. You see, this type of discrimination was there with the blacks. Now you see the points. Number one, blacks were not allowed to live in wide areas. For the whites, there were separate areas to live. For the blacks, there were separate areas to live. Now, number B, blacks were allowed to work in white areas if they had a permit or pass. So if the black people, you see what type of huge discrimination in the countries of the black country, Okay, South Africa was basically a black country, but black people will work in the white areas if they have a particular pass. If they don't have the permit or pass, they cannot work in the white areas. That means it seemed that the country belonged to the white, but it was not. Now, point number C. Total segregation. Trains, buses, taxis, hotels, cinema halls, public toilets, hospitals, ambulance, etc. were different for the blacks and the whites. So for the whites, all the better facilities, and for the blacks, their separate, substandard facilities will be given. So this much we can understand because whites were in power, so white can still make some laws like that. But the main problem was that regarding the worship also, there was some differences. You see, different churches for the black and white. There was the main problem. And if they, for the black people, different church, that means the place of worship, and for the white people, different church. So here the blacks, day by day they got demotivated because of the discrimination that was made by white people. And our Mahatma Gandhi also faced discrimination when he was in South Africa. The fact that Mahatma Gandhi, when he was going to South Africa in some place, he was thrown out from the train because the trains were also different for the whites, and unfortunately he was traveling in the white train, in the trains that was for white people. So he was thrown out in the station that is called Pretoria. In the Pretoria station he was thrown out of the train. So you can understand what type of discrimination was there. And number D, you see, blacks could not form associations for protest. So whatever systems are there, they will have to accept. They cannot protest. They cannot make any institution. So this type of discrimination went on in South Africa for a long time. Now we'll go, how did the black people, or in what way the black people started to fight? Fight for what purpose? Fight for making a free country and fight for making one constitution, equal constitution. Now you see, ultimate protest. So how did the black people, they organize the protest? From 1950 ultimately the black people, they thought it is enough. Now they decided that they will protest, and because of the protest, because of the means of protest, the South African people ultimately formed, South African nationalist people, they formed an organization that was called the African National Congress. As we know, in India, Indian National Congress fought for India's freedom. So just like that, in South Africa also, the African National Congress was formed to fight for their rights, for the equal rights. And it was an umbrella organization. Umbrella organization means all the people, all the different type of people, communist people, workers unions, all came under this organization, and all together they went for the freedom struggle. And in this freedom struggle, again I am telling, who gave the leadership? Nelson Mandela. And because of the leadership, where he was arrested, and for 28 years he sacrificed his life in the dreaded jail in Robben Island. You see, one more thing is to be discussed over here, that only black people they fought. No, some of the sensitive whites were also there. See, all the whites were not bad, all the whites were not oppressive to the black. So some white people were there in South Africa also, who actually supported the blacks to fight. When Indian National Congress was fighting against the British, that time also some good Britishers were there. They helped the Indians, like Dirogio, some others were there, Alan Octavian Hume was also there, So in that ultimate protest by the African National Congress, many sensitive whites also supported this particular freedom fighting, particular nationalist movement. Now we'll see ultimately the formation of Republic of South Africa. You see, I have written over here, ultimately after a prolonged protest, at the midnight of 26th April 1994, the new national flag of the Republic of South Africa was unfurled, making the newly born democracy in the world. So ultimately South Africa became a democratic country on 26th of April 1994, and they made their new national flag, and Nelson Mandela was released from jail and became the first president of South Africa. Okay, so he was the first president of South Africa. South Africa became a republic country. Republic country means the country of which the head of the country is also elected, not selected, like India. So last part you see, South Africa's constitution was written in 2 years and it became the finest democratic constitution in the world, which gave equal right to all black, white and colored. So when the time came that what South African black will do with the whites, because white had oppressed them for a long time, the blacks decided that in the new constitution they will try to keep the society equal and there will be no discrimination for the whites. So ultimately South Africa got one equal constitution, one constitution with equality, with the sense of equality, and ultimately in South Africa the peace or the equality prevailed. So why I'm discussing this thing, I just wanted to mean that the importance of one written constitution and importance of the democratic constitution. So I hope this much part is clear. So you read the chapter, that much part of South Africa's freedom struggle and how did that the Nelson Mandela become the first president of South Africa, how did South Africa become a republic country, and in the next video I will discuss the next part of the Indian constitution. How did Indian constitution come into existence? What was the process of making the constitution? How it was democratic constitution? That much I will discuss. So I hope all you are fine. Stay in home, stay safe and take care of yourself. Thank you very much.